Hello, welcome to another edition of Stocks for Beer Watchlist. Here I'm looking at stocks on watch for August the 3rd. Check out MITK. This thing I mentioned a few days ago on the video basically said over this 375 area would send it higher. Sure enough, got two updates here, and then it pulled back, and then it ripped through that 4 spot that I also mentioned could do some damage. So even if it doesn't pop immediately the next day that it's been on watch list, then keep it on watch for a couple days, because you never know when it might set up and finally get through that resistance level. Nonetheless, tomorrow I'm watching this thing to see if we get a little gap up. If it does that, I'll be watching first dip or high of day break. If it opens weak, watch for basically to break today's high. We'll see what it does from there. There's still some resistance here, about 475, and then the gap to fill is about 550. So there's still a little room to the upside there. Keep MITK on your watch list for those potential moves. Night Capital here, KCG, played this thing perfectly. We nailed this thing this morning here off this gap down, and then ripped higher towards that 420 area. Basically played this thing right off of that 340 spot and sold up here. So great trade there. Thought about playing again, but it was just too risky. I bought some more here, but then ended up pretty much stopping out flat because it just didn't do it. Tomorrow, basically, I'm watching for the same thing. They basically said they might be filing for bankruptcy after hours today, so I wouldn't be surprised to see another gap down and then set up to go higher again. I'll definitely be covering this one in chat tomorrow. NICT, I like this for the over $6 move here. Nice daily chart. So watch for that 6 area to break out there. It could go higher. Could easily see 630, 660 for 5 or 10% out of the thing if it goes. LEI, looking at about 195 area here. Basically, if it gets above 195.2, it still has a gap to fill towards the 215, 220 area. Not a bad little setup there. EGLE starting to come off bottom and broke that 3 range. We'll see how this thing opens tomorrow, but I wouldn't be surprised to see this go higher towards 350. There's going to be some resistance there at 350, obviously, but that'd be your first target if it can get going. And if it breaks 350, it might even see 450 in the coming days. Pretty risky. Shippers have had some struggles as of late, but the chart's there. We'll see how it turns out. JRCC, watch for the over 240 here. Potential move over 240. I like that chart setup coming off bottom. LLEN, watch this thing to actually get through 2 tomorrow. Needs some volume. Tough to play with this lighter volume, but definitely has potential. EGHT, there's the pennant setup from the last video there. It broke above, as you can see, did perfectly, had 2 great up days. Now watch for this 550 break. If it can get over 550, it probably heads toward 575 or 6. STE, a little bit higher price, but I like this 1-year chart, especially if you can break above 32. 32 and a half even. Kind of an ascending triangle here off bottom. It's definitely been making higher lows the past few months, so it's slower play, probably be more of a swing trade, but I would not be surprised to see this thing get a buck or 2 over the next few days to weeks. Now let's check out some OTCs here. I liked ACTC over this 9 range. Basically, in the past 6 months, 9's kind of been the spot of interest there. It kind of held up. It was support there for a while, and then became resistance. Tried to go there in May, couldn't quite get over it. Even tried here just in July, but kept falling back. Now it finally closed up here above this 9 cents. I would not be surprised to see this thing go higher. EKDKQ, Eastman Kodak, they're bankrupt right now. Watch this over 54, 55 area. I mean, it's already up big, and I covered it as the 36 break yesterday. So, I mean, if you're in it, then don't feel bad if you take profits. You're up huge already. So watch this trend from the day. If it falls back below about 49, then it might go lower. But 54, 55 area, it could go higher. Keep those areas in mind when you're watching this thing tomorrow. GNTA traded over 1 billion shares today. Yesterday, it actually hit 0.0014, and this morning, as you can see, it tanked all the way down to 0.00003. So look for this thing to maybe get a bounce. I'm not confident that it will, but if it starts, I mean, if the volume stays the same and it can get back through this 4 range, get an uptick through 5, I wouldn't be surprised to see it actually get a few upticks on it. DIRV, it's been up here the past 2 days pretty good. So the only way I'm thinking about playing this thing if we get a complete washout back towards a penny or so, and then I'll just play a quick bounce, see if it's even there. If it's not, then I won't worry about it. And finally, URHN. This one reminds me of ICNB right before it ran big. So no guarantees. Just keeping this thing on watch is more of a gamble play, really. If you try to play this thing, I wouldn't play with very much money. There's not a whole lot of volume coming into it yet, but nonetheless, we could see some upside still out of this thing. So any questions, ask me in the comments section or on the forum. I'll see you guys in the chat room tomorrow.